George, I see you're matching the sign today, and I love it.
You're just hating. Are you ready to do another Pants on Fire?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You?
I feel like we're in the swing of things.
Are you ready?
We got a good groove. What do you think?
Ready?
We look like mustard and ketchup today.
I'm going to burn the sweater.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
This week's guest is Peter Guimaraes. Now, I'm not expecting...
Peter Guimaraes.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually not horrible.
I'm good.
But we'll go with Peter G to make it easy for people. So Peter is a restaurateur extraordinaire of New York City, former club owner in New York City, Sound Factory owner, for those of you who remember the days of the Sound Factory.
That was back in the day.
Well, yeah, it closed in 2009, if I'm not mistaken.
Way back in the day,
it's like, it was definitely a really buzzy place when I was coming up, but I actually never got to go. I was underage.
That never stopped you before.
Allegedly. But Peter is an icon in itself here in New York, and I think it's always interesting to meet with people like that. He's actually even tried to run for mayor before. God. Yeah, it was crazy time. Like, he actually challenged the current mayor of New York City. He didn't go all the way to the general election, but he was in the mix for that. Yeah,
people knew his name. Well, I recognize him from the Housewives. Though,
well, girl, yeah. I mean, Tipsy Girl was definitely a big drama between Bethany and Sonia Morgan. But you know what? Enough of this. Let's just get into it.
I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, let's just get into it.
Peter, come on down.
Peter, come on down. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you.
So, Peter, you're an icon in of itself in New York lifestyle. Come on. Nightclub scene, restaurant scene. Everybody knows who you are. It's
pretty iconic.
You've been around for a while in that scene. And what brings you, how did you start? Like, how does one wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a nightclub owner and a restaurant owner in Manhattan?
So you're raised in Connecticut at an early age. We heard that they don't card in New York City. So we used to get in our little Chevy Impala, drive down the Mayor Turnpike, and go bar hopping in New York City. And I was like, this is fucking great. I love this city.
They didn't card back then?
They don't card now.
I get carded.
You do?
Yeah, I do. And I'm a notable
Well, they just want to
person.
make sure you're legal. I don't know if it's because of your age. Yeah, they're just
not
checking.
the legal card.
He's starting already.
My daughter's 19. She's all over the place. Friends that own nightclub go, your kid's in here. I'm like, throw her out. No, she has the proper documentation. The documentation's sitting in my files here at work. She's not 21. Throw her out.
You're like, I was there.
Yeah.
I know when I made her.
Oh, yeah.
So you start. What was your first venture in New York City lifestyle?
The Sound Factory.
So you started how many years?
I didn't start it. We took over after the Fed shut it down.
Okay, so the Fed shut down the Sound Factory from the original guy.
What year was that?
1999.
Okay.
And you had to run until the mid
2009.
Yeah.
When
That's good for a club, right?
Yeah, normally, you hope for 10, but sometimes you get 5.
Okay.
And it always goes through its progression. It starts out really hot, then it goes to Latino night, then it goes to gay night.
We're all gonna get.
Then it goes to gay night, and then you go out of business.
So the last stand for every club essentially is gay night. But once you hit gay night, you're on your last leg.
You start on Sunday nights with gay night, right? And it packs it in, right? But then when your Fridays and Saturdays start slowing down, and you had a great Sunday gay night, you say, well, let's do gay night every night. And then you reach a point where you're like, okay, it's time to shut
the gays even move on.
We got to change the paint, move the name, open again in a week.
No, it's like a favorite club of mine back a couple of years ago was Provocateur.
Okay.
And they lasted less than 10 years in the meatpacking, right?
No, it's always like that. 10 years is like...
That's a sweet spot.
No, I'm telling you, like, I used to go party there. Mm-hmm. Every single Victoria's Secret model, Leo DiCaprio.
It was a hot spot at that point.
And by the way, not everybody could get in. You were clocked by these snooty hostesses at the front door. Like, they look you up and they're like, not today. Or you're too short.
Are your clubs like that? Like a squeamish doorman that won't let anybody in?
So I've been out of the nightclub business for a while. Now I'm starting to get back into more of like, the supper club. Like I grew up with supper clubs. I love supper clubs. We had Liquids down in South Beach, Miami back in the day on 13th and 13th and Washington Street. And that's like where supper clubs really started.
Yeah.
We would put push the tables to the side. All the Russian girls would start dancing. They get up on the tables. So you'd be a restaurant, and then late night you would turn into a club. So they started calling it a supper club. I'm more into that, like stuff like Mansion and Club USA. Those big factory places. I don't like.
Yeah.
I can't handle that.
Webster Hall, dude. This place is still open.
Yeah, I think I've been there twice.
I was there a lot
huge.
when I was younger, but it's still open. Halloween night this year was insane.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Insane. The fact that it's still open, really, they've definitely survived past the 10-year mark. I mean, I'd say 20 at this point, right?
Well, that's an institution, though, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the most famous nightclub in the world was Studio 54, and they didn't even survive.
They didn't survive. It's crazy, right?
They were under 10 years too, weren't they?
They had other issues, though, but...
Yeah, they were around during an era where people weren't in the clubbing industry, in clubbing just for the fun of music and drinks.
My first time ever at Studio 54, I was 16. I won, or 17, right around that time, and I won a contest in Hartford at this club called BT. And they picked the hottest couple, and you had to get on the dance floor and dance. And then, they rounded it down to who was left standing. And that night, we had to get in a limo and go to Studio 54. They gave us $500 and VIP admission.
At 16 years old?
$500.
I was like,
you were a
I was
king.
like 17 years old.
What, 17 years old, $500? Like
$500. I bought at least 4 pounds of crack back then for $500. Now it's expensive.
Oh, God.
Just a disclaimer, I've never done drugs, and people always call me out on this. They say, bullshit, you own the nightclub.
This is just you regular. This is...
Yeah, so they said, bullshit, I'm going to call out on that because you own the nightclub that they duped the drug factory. I've never done drugs in my life. I've never smoked. I've only been drunk once in my life, and that was in college.
That's amazing. I mean, that's not
drunk
the same for a lot of your...
Seagram 7. My cousin was doing that stupid quarter trick, with the elbow.
Yeah.
And all we had was Seagram 7. I got so sick, I never got drunk again. And any distributor that comes into my restaurants, they always say, how come you don't have any Seagram 7? I cannot even look at the bottle.
Banned.
So just something you might not know, but I'm going to share with you. This podcast was born in your restaurant. I met with the producers in your restaurant, and this is where the idea for Pants on Fire comes from. BiCe.
Nice.
And as somebody who's been going to BiCe for a long time, so sad to see it go from New York.
Well, this is the second time we go from New York.
Yeah.
First time we went to New York because of union issues. Then I revived it. I'm the only restaurateur to ever shake the union. And everybody keeps saying you should write a book about it. I wasn't going to write a book until I was done with BiCe in New York because the last thing I need is that fucking rat on my sidewalk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the first restaurateur ever to come back into New York City and shake the union.
And you did it. And you did it for the second time around. How long were you out there?
9 years.
9 years. I want to move on to talking about nightlife and controversy a little bit, right? Because you've run for mayor. And you actually challenged the current mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. And you got dealt a shorthand there in that process. And I remember being really upset about it. But New York City is not the same city that when you started investing in New York City. What are the bigger challenges you have in nightlife today in New York City?
So I'll tell you what, when COVID, everybody keeps saying New York is back. New York is not back. I know it's a marketing thing, and I will stand by saying that, but I can't lie to people, right? Miami is killing New York City. It started killing New York City even before COVID, but after COVID, forget it. New York City, Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, Delray, even Fort Lauderdale now, right? They're all killing New York City. Before, I used to shut my kitchen down at midnight. I used to have live bands. I used to have DJs. Nobody would complain about anything. During COVID, all these little fuckers who live above restaurants got used to having a quiet street. And then once COVID went away and we started with the music again, the same little fuckers that used to enjoy the music are calling the cops.
Really?
Absolutely. So now we close the kitchen at 10 o'clock.
That's
and
ridiculous.
I talked to a lot of people. You really can't go anywhere in the city and eat after 10 o'clock. Even Milo's, even Avra, they close their kitchens earlier than they
Oh,
used
yeah,
to.
and I'm a big Avra client. I love going to Avra.
Everybody closes their kitchen.
Yeah, it's so sad.
And that's one of the reasons why we're closing is because, we're in SL Green. SL Green is the largest landlord in the city, right? And I've been trying to negotiate the rent. My rent's $50,000 a month. So it's very expensive. And we're trying to negotiate the rent. They don't give a shit. When you get to a certain status in life, people don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
But my biggest concern was like, we lost our lunch crowd. And the reason is because S.L. Green's building used to provide our whole lunch because they're right next door. We're basically their lobby, right? So I would call these guys and say, listen, you know, we're not getting the same type of traffic we used to get from you guys. We need to negotiate. And they'd be like, Peter, we're 92% leased. Yeah, you're 92% leased, but you're 24% occupied. And they used to be like, where do you get these numbers? And I didn't tell them then because I didn't want to get the guys in trouble, but now I can. I feed your doorman. You know, your doorman has this electronic alarm that lets you know how many people are in the building. You'd be surprised how much information you get from pasta and pizza. Right? So at any time of the day, you can ask them what their occupancy rate is. Never got above 24, 25%. And on a Friday, because most of these companies are working from home, it'd be in the 15%. So you might be 92% lease, but you're 24% occupied. And we care about occupancy rate, not lease.
Of course.
So, you know, we were down 40, 50% in our lunch crowd.
We've said goodbye to BiCe now in recent times, and we're now going on to a new venture for you and your new, like, kind of time in New York City. Tell us about the new endeavor and like what's different now.
So, you know, I decided to spend more time doing music. Back to my roots. I love music. I
can tell.
So I have a new concept now called O-Bar, and it's a piano bar, but it's the only piano bar in New York City. And people say, are you retarded, dude? You're not the only piano bar in the city. I said, well, there's a lot of piano bars, but I'm the only one that has a piano that you can sit at. We buy the grand piano. We take the top off of it. We have a granite top, do the same sketch as the outline with a 9-inch overhang. The stools fit underneath so you can actually eat and drink at the piano.
Can I, as a patron, just go in and start playing piano? Because I play piano, for instance.
No, I mean, we have a musical director.
Okay.
This isn't the Gong Show. You know,
I'm just asking, like, because I know, I mean, I haven't played in a while, but I'd love to go in there and just, like,
it's not open to
that. So if I have friends, like, I play also. I was, you know, taught by old little bitchy nuns in Catholic school.
Oh my God, sister, forgive him.
Yeah, so you know, I used to get hit in the knuckles when your hands would fall down.
Yeah.
So I play a lot of classical stuff, and nobody gives a shit about classical. So now I'm starting to like learn some cool stuff. So yeah, I mean, if you come in and I'm there, I'll say, yeah, of course, you know, let them get on there. But we want to keep, you know, a reputable environment as far as like.
Oh, so you don't want me to touch your piano?
No, as long as
reputable and me.
As long as you're
you
good.
Can't touch it. What's on your playlist right now? Like, what's
so you know what? I'm a big sad guy. Like I love sad music.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
And people are always like, dude, why do you like sad music? I work out to sad music. I just like
you work out to sad music.
I work out to sad
music. Give me an example of a sad song you work out to.
So it depends. So now one of my favorite guys is, of course, I'm going to forget his name.
Well, what's the song?
Here, it's on my spot.
Put it. Just. Do we get in trouble if we play music?
No, I'm just going to read it out.
Yeah. Don't play the song.
Teddy Swims.
Oh, dear God. Dude, are you trying to commit suicide while you're working out?
What's the song? Because
those are melancholic type, like, very, like...
So my favorite right now is Some Things I'll Never Know, and it's really good. Really
it's like deep into, like...
You can work out to that? Like,
but you know, I have a big, huge, eclectic mix. Like, I grew up playing Barry Manilow. Nobody even knows who Barry Manilow is.
I have no clue who that is.
Yes, you do.
No.
You're kidding.
No clue. Dude, I'm 36.
Listen, when he came into BiCe, I've met Frank Sinatra. He had his last birthday party at BiCe before he passed away. Billy Joel wrote a song about us, scenes from my favorite Italian restaurant, Bottle of Red, Bottle of White. That was done at the BiCe Cafe when he had issues back in the day. So we get a lot of performers, a lot of famous people. You go through my Instagram, you see them all there. Mm. Barry Manilow, when he came in, I was like, just shocked. Like, this was Barry.
That's
nobody knew who the fuck
favorite.
he was. Like, that's Barry Manilow. They're like, who? Just like you.
I'm so enthralled by you. I mean, I've been laughing since you walked in and I met you. You have a mouth on you, but you mentioned a mayoral run. Is that right? Mayoral
race.
Yeah. Okay, you ran for mayor. Right. What gives you the balls to think that you could be the mayor of the city of New York?
So you don't need balls to run to be in New York City mayor.
Oh,
you need to know how the zoo works.
Okay.
Right? You got to be a business person. You have to employ people. You have to know budget. You have to know what's wrong with the city.
Yeah.
The problem is they hire these people that have never even owned a business or employed a person. I think one of the prerequisites, speaking English too should be one, is to hire people who have owned businesses, who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like Adams was a cop before that. Yeah, you know what? Go tie somebody up and beat the shit out of them. You're experienced in that, but what do you know about running a city?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I could fix the city in a year and a half.
You could. That's a lofty claim.
Bloomberg did the same thing.
You could fix
Bloomberg's
this
a
city.
businessman. He was amazing.
He was amazing.
Amazing. He left us what, $9 billion of surplus.
De Blasio burned that in a
took
year.
over. He burned it down, and Mayor Adams burned it down.
I always think best administrators are those who have experience signing the front of checks, not the back. That's been my long-standing belief for executive positions.
I actually love that saying. I never even heard it. That's great.
So my long-standing is, every time I decide to cast a legislative is a little bit different. I want the craziest creative people in there. So like, I'm crazy. Like, that's why I thought I'd be a great legislator, because you need creativity to be a legislator, not to be an administrator, meaning an executive, like mayor, a governor. A big part of being an administrator is really understanding like the ins and outs of finance and budgeting and how to deploy and employ the right people. So kudos to you for understanding that. You kind of live that embodiment. You just didn't know my quirky little saying.
Yeah. No, it's great saying. You know what? I had some amazing ideas. And when I went on these talk shows, people would be like, how come nobody's come up with this? I'll give you one example, right? So Manhattan is the mega capital of
the universe.
Food.
The universe of everything.
It's the center stage, but it's also food, right? It's a foodie town. We don't have a city-run culinary school. No. We have private ones.
Yeah.
So here's what I was telling everybody. When I was given the budget, because you got to know what you're talking about when you're running for mayor, right? There's a line item. If you add them all up, it comes to $6 million to run Gracie Mansion.
Yeah.
Gracie Mansion costs taxpayers $6 million a year.
It's nonsense.
Between landscaping, gardening, cooking, security, everything, right? So they said, well, what's your bright idea? My bright idea is I'm going to stay in my own apartment, which I love, okay? I don't need all that security.
All you need is a cop escort sitting in front of your apartment
My cousin
building.
Paulie in Jersey, Uncle Tony in Springfield.
Oh my God.
That's all I need, okay? And
a little nepotism is okay, I guess.
And I'll stay in my own.
They're gonna protect him though.
And I'll stay in my own apartment. Like my doormen are already trained. They know not to let certain chicks in. They know how to lie. They know how to protect me, right?
That's amazing.
I'm going to stay in my own little building, and then I'm going to turn Gracie Mansion into a culinary school. We're going to give inner city kids scholarships. My chefs make $125,000 a year. I don't have any local kids in my kitchen. I have nobody that's local. No. Right?
Wow.
So
there isn't even an incentive for that, which is crazy.
Send them
Kitchen
to a
work
culinary
is
school.
So lucrative.
City run, give inner city kids scholarships. And then the other vacancies, sell them to the spoiled little bitches in Italy and Germany who have these rich parents who want to learn how to be a chef in where? Manhattan.
Yeah.
I love him.
And we would make money. We wouldn't have a $6 million deficit.
That's actually an amazing pitch. I mean, I never understood why the city of New York has to have a mayoral
because these guys
residence.
Go in there and they're
it's
like
ego.
Look at what that communist leader De Blasio did. He spent $700,000.
Privacy fence,
$700,000, and he added 6 feet to the fence because him and his girl wanted to go out and smoke weed and not have people take pictures. Yeah, it's like nuts. Who authorized this?
Yeah, well, he did. It's his money. It's his budget, right? He does whatever he wants.
He has to still go to the city council, though.
And
there lies the problem, right? So the city council is made up a lot of people that hate you. If you're successful,
default.
They hate you.
They hate you by default.
So it's hard to get anything done.
I agree.
You know?
Well, look, politics can always be so toxic. Did you feel burned by that process?
I stopped watching TV recently.
But did you feel burned by your brief experience in politics?
I started to wonder if I could fight every day. Like Trump, whatever your opinion is on Trump, right? I'm going to tell you mine. I like the guy. But here's my opinion on it. anybody who can take that kind of abuse
Day in and day
after
out, yeah.
day after day, there's either something mentally wrong with you or you really love what the fuck are you doing. I had to really look inside myself and say, can I get up? Because normally I'm a happy guy, right? I have a drink with my lunch. I have a nice lunch. I talk to my daughter, go out with a couple of hot chicks. I go to bed. I'm happy, right? Every day I would get up and have to fight the city council.
And
all
fight.
the time.
And you
fight.
didn't have the fight in you. That's a lot.
I don't know. At the point that I am right now, I don't know if I just want to be fighting every day. And then for what? Not to be appreciated?
Yeah, no, it's definitely an uphill battle. But I wanna pivot to controversy.
Oh.
Well, this comes with hot chicks and controversy, right? So
I'm a big fan of hot chicks. I'm not gonna lie.
I've noticed.
I like hot chicks.
Barone, did you sense that too?
We smell our own.
I'm a big fan.
So I'm gonna say this: you were the center stage of a massive reality TV drama.
I don't know if I was the center stage, but
you were involved in it behind the scenes. Let's just put it that way.
I was knee deep in bullshit.
Yeah. So tell us about Tipsy Girl, because you got Bethany Frankel going batshit crazy back then with that's a copyright infringement, and she tried to go and one up Tipsy Girl and give us give us what we didn't see on Bravo.
So here's the thing, right? Reality shows are all about ratings. And if you're on a reality show and if you're boring as shit, you're going to get canceled, right? A lot of people have gotten fired from the Housewives show because they had no relative. They weren't watchable, right? The number one ratings on Bravo with the Real Housewives of New York were between Tipsy Girl and Skinny Girl.
And you were in the center of that.
And I was in the center of it, even though, I was being bad-mouthed about it, scam artist, this and all the other thing.
Just to set it up for everybody at home, Skinny Girl Cocktails is a adult beverage alcohol company launched by former Housewives star Bethany Frankel with the idea that less calories and still enjoyable cocktails and mixers. And then Tipsy,
which was bullshit. Because if you were to take the cocktail apart, right? Yeah,
there was sugar in it?
Yeah, maybe it has only 90 calories, but the alcohol level was so low, you'd have to drink 4 or 5 of them to get a buzz. So now what are you doing?
You're compounding calories at that point.
Absolutely. So now you got a buzz with 700 calories, right? Or you get a buzz early with 500 calories,
So hold on. So then Tipsy Girl was it's a wine company, right?
Tipsy Girl is a brand that's made in Veneto, Italy. All we have is two vintners. We have a sparkling rosé and we have a prosecco. And we call it Tipsy Girl because it's higher in alcohol. It's 14%.
So the idea is Bethany feels that this is a ripoff from her Skinny Girl, Tipsy Girl, kind of close in name, right? But can you share with us the behind the scenes behind the whole creation?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I was with the Sound Factory, I bartend. I love bartend. I bartend in my own restaurants. I like getting behind the bar.
You've made cocktails for me.
Yeah, you get to find out what people think about you and think about your restaurant just working behind the bar, right? So I'm a big fan of going behind the bar and talking to the people and making drinks. So when I was with the Sound Factory, I used to have these girls come to the bar all the time. I'd make them shots, and I would call them my Tipsy Girls because they would get drunk. That's where the name started. And in the back of my mind, I always thought, when I have the opportunity, I'm going to start a wine called Tipsy Girl, right?
And when was this that you started the company?
I started, so there's a difference. There's a trademark. When you trademark the name was, almost 20 years ago versus when I launched, which was 10 years ago.
Okay, so it was the 10-year idea was born at 20 years ago, but it only executed and got off paper.
Right, I mean, trademark takes money. You got to start, making some money to get stuff trademarked.
Yeah, of course.
So the whole battle between the ripoffs, they never went into it because if they had pushed our hand, as you can see, there was never no lawsuits filed, right? Nothing ever went
just
except
drama.
On TV. It was just drama. Because if the lawsuit was filed, they would have seen that Tipsy Girl was created way before Skinny Girl. So
you could have ended up in the uphand there.
Who copied who?
Yeah.
And then you don't want to put her feet on the fire because she used to work for a company called Skinny Cow. So you left Skinny Cow, and now you start a brand called Skinny Girl. I mean, that could also be a copy.
It
You
could
know
be
what?
argued. There's an argument there.
I mean, look,
similarities.
I'm a big Bethany Frankel fan, and I'm also a Sonia Morgan fan, which Sonia was involved with with Tipsy Girl. That's how I guess the name blew up so much for the company. Sonia is still involved in Tipsy Girl?
No, she's never really involved. You know, you can't get Sonia involved in anything. Sonia is like a little poodle without a leash on, right?
Oh,
it's just going to everybody. Until you put it in the cage, right? It's the only way. It's the only way you're going to get rid of her.
You said that you liked also.
Yeah, Sonia is definitely on like my top 3 favorites.
And Sonia used to tell me never talk about how we met and how I went to her. Sonia used to be our coat check girl at BiCe back in the day. That's where she met her husband.
Wait.
We
Coat check girl at BiCe.
And she was so hot. I'm like, why do you guys got this woman in the coat check? Freaking, dress her up and put her as a hostess.
See what she looks like.
So they moved her to a hostess.
She's definitely not the same as she used to be.
She still looks good.
She's a good-looking woman.
I can
She's
tell
hot.
a vintage beauty.
She was going to FIT at the time and working for us.
So wait, and that's how she met her.
JP would come in. She was a hostess. It was very hard to get lunch at BiCe. We were like the powerhouse. You could never get in. Always packed.
Amazing.
But if you slip, the hostess $50.
Of course.
Yeah, you get a table.
Back then, 50. Nowadays, it takes a little bit more than 50.
I don't know. 50 was a lot back then.
Well, no, I'm just saying nowadays, if you want to bribe the
yeah.
hostess, you better bring out some Benjis. I know because I have to do it
No,
sometimes.
absolutely.
There's places you just want to get in and you just got to bribe the hostess.
Yeah.
And that's a whole industry, by the way, on its own. Oh, yeah. We can talk about
But
that.
surely the hostesses at your restaurants aren't doing that.
No. Well, you know what? We're not a hot spot. We weren't a hot spot for a few years, so there was no need to do it.
Yeah.
If
I
they
could
were-
always get a table, though, even if it was full.
If they were collecting
You're VIP.
Benjis, it wasn't on BiCe time. It was something else.
Hot chicks. The hot chicks.
But yeah, that's where she met JP, and then JP and her started dating. And then he has the gall to say, I can't be dating a hostess from BiCe. So he made her quit. And then she went across the street to St. Pietro's to run their banquets.
What?
Yeah.
So JP Morgan.
Take out one of your credit cards.
So JP Morgan, JP is short for JP Morgan, the heir of JP Morgan and I guess Chase.
Wait, that's the JP
No,
that
that's
you've been talking
her.
about?
That's
Chase Morgan, they merged.
yeah,
Chase Morgan.
yeah. That's
Oh, her name is
Morgan.
His name is
She
John
never-
She
Adams
never
Morgan.
let go of that
Oh,
name.
it's like Tina Turner. She ain't let her go of that last name. Yeah, this is who we're talking about. So, I mean, people just don't realize
She
sometimes.
found a big fish.
Oh, not a big fish. At the time, the biggest fish.
The
in Manhattan,
whale.
The whale.
Huge.
The Manhattan's most eligible bachelor
Do they have
whale.
a big age difference?
30 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But when you're laying
That
down and
sperm
the
whale
lights
had
are
dried
off,
up by
who can tell?
Who cares?
I mean, that's a lot of money. So
I mean, look, the reality is she just recently sold her townhouse.
Listen, I
after
would have
years.
fucking married JP for the right amount of money.
Hey, you and I both.
well, at me, can I come?
Hey, Jeff Bezos, if you get sick of your new wife, I'm available. No, but all joking aside, so like this is Sonia Morgan, right? Like, and a lot of I until recently just thought she was the actual owner of Tipsy Girl, but then we start understanding how marketing works and whatnot.
Yeah, of course. You have to. Everything's a spin in marketing. I graduated with a marketing degree, even though I never used it. I think it's like in my sock drawer or something.
You're using it now.
Yeah.
I think you use it every single day
Every
because you're
single
the
day that
most
you breathe.
market forward guy. I mean, I've been to your nights at BiCe. I've been to your dinner, your parties. We were there for the Park Avenue launch magazine, which, by the way, landed me on page 6. But again, whatever.
I remember that.
Yeah, annoying.
If I had known, I would have never called them.
Yeah, like
Oh wait, sorry. I take that
you would never tip
I would
them.
have
I
never
don't use my
ratted them
marketing
out.
degree.
But they gave me a Benji. I'm like, for a Benji, I'm ratting them
I
out.
would have given you 2. No, but look, page 6.
I hate page 6. You see
So
the
do
article
I.
they just put on me from BiCe?
No, what was the article?
What did they
Tell
say?
us.
About the BiCe closing.
Oh, God.
What did the headline say?
Something about if you want BiCe food now, you got to visit the State Department up north or something like that.
That's such nonsense.
Yeah.
It's like, look, BiCe, iconic restaurant. It will come back. I just
No.
look.
You're not interested.
I'm telling you, you'll bring it back.
I don't think so because it's just not the market anymore. You know, it's we're not that restaurant anymore. Palm Beach, yeah. Naples, yeah. New York City, it's time to move on.
You were in Brazil at one point with BiCe.
São Paulo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nos Jardins.
Yeah. They actually opened in Brazil. Serafina went to Brazil too and failed.
They had 65 locations at one point. There's a New York Times article on the front page that calls BiCe McBiCe because BiCe was growing as fast as McDonald's was.
Did you bring us any Tipsy girl?
No, you know what? I should have. I don't know. See, I am not a good marketer anymore.
No. Look, I'll tell you this. I've had the Prosecco. It's actually
The sparkling
is my
rosé.
absolute favorite.
No, the
I
sparkling
don't like
rosé is the
rosé.
best.
I'm not a rosé
But this
guy.
is the sparkling
I'm the only
rosé.
gay man you're ever going to find that says rosé.
Wait, you're
sucks.
gay?
Allegedly. I can tell you this. I have a very wild story from BiCe with a drunk judge, former judge, actually. And you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I put him in a headlock.
Yeah.
We threw him out.
Yeah, it
was all over the news.
Yeah, like I got kicked in the ankle and punched in the face by an old judge in New York City.
When?
So, this was in 2021.
Before, wait.
You know who asked me to throw it out? The senator from Florida there. I always forget her name.
Not senator, congresswoman.
Congresswoman.
Yeah, Kamek.
Yes.
So this guy
He was groping women. this
newly
judge.
elected congresswoman from Florida, Kat Kamek, is here for an event with a few other local politicians. So we're standing there, we're doing this thing. This judge is completely inebriated, completely drunk. He literally goes, shakes her hands, and licks her from chin to forehead, licks her, and says, "You're delicious." I push him like, "What are you doing?" This dude punches me in the face. A 60-something-year-old judge punches me in the face. First time George Santos ever got punched in the face.
See, I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, my glasses go flying, and other people start parting him, and then next thing you see, you got Peter here playing bouncer.
So you're seeing this melee happen, and you don't know who started it. You don't know who's in the middle of it.
I had
and
to
you
put my drink down.
Did he lose his job?
He
What-
picked up the phone. He was a retired judge. He picked up the phone. He's an administrative judge, by the way. He picked up the phone the very next day to apologize and completely acknowledged being intoxicated. "I'm sorry.
I'm like, I
I'm
accept your apology if
embarrassed."
you let me get my lick back.
Yeah.
It's alcohol, man. Alcohol brings out, if you don't handle, I grew up in alcohol business, right? So I've seen it all. You know, I've seen the beautiful women with their Hermes bags come in and their
Tearing each
Louis
other's clothes
Vuittons,
off.
all, nice and proper
And
at the
leaves
bar.
crawling.
4 drinks later, motherfucker. Yeah.
So tell us the wildest story that you've experienced as a restaurateur here in New York, and if possible, with a notable celebrity type person, if you can.
All right, so Peter doesn't kiss and tell. But
I'm not asking you to kiss and tell. I'm just saying, did you ever have a celebrity kind of out of hand in one of your properties? Establishments?
not out of hand, but I've helped certain people get into their cars many times.
Okay.
Because they were like just way too inebriated. No, because that would go against what I believe. Because, when you come to one of my establishments, you're in a safe
It's a
place.
safe
Yeah, it is true. That's why I've always
There
come
used
back.
to be a running joke. They used to say, your girlfriends are always so skinny, but they eat in your restaurant all the time. You sell Italian food. How are your girlfriends so skinny? And I used to say jokingly, I make them do this. And then everybody be like, you can't joke anymore, right? It's like, it's just a
Everybody's
joke.
Baron, is
so
he
uptight.
I believe he's joking.
I don't know if he's joking.
Did you ever have a nickname?
Yeah, so I grew up in a neighborhood in Hartford that everybody had nicknames. My friend to this day, we still call him Joey Bag of Donuts. And the reason we call
Bag
him,
of Donuts.
Yeah, because those little white Hostess little powder donut that would come in a bag? This little fat kid would walk around with him all the time. And the big guys would call him
to
Joey
upkeep
Bag of
the
Donuts.
look,
Joey Bag of Donuts. My name was Paige. And in New York City, people called me Paige Stone. And my mother would come in for the holidays, and I'd take her to Rockefeller Center. We'd go to the restaurants where everybody knew me because of the nightclub. And people would say, Mr. Stone, welcome. My mother would be like,
Who is?
When did you become Stone?
Like, what is that?
What is this? Paige Stone. I said, Ma, you try getting a reservation under Pedro Guimaraes. It's very difficult. Okay. So my
Paige Stone is a lot
my
more.
name was Paige because I was the first one with a pager. So they used to say Paige Peter, Peter Page.
Oh, wow.
So that stuck with me. Moynihan, Morris, here in town. He was the financier for Nyla, which was Britney Spears' restaurant. Millions of dollars lost on this.
I mean, look, I feel like the best restaurateurs are the ones who know the business.
You got to know the business.
You can't invest.
But the rich guys want to get involved with it because they want to have the seat.
They
They
want
want to
the
have
clout.
the tables.
They want the clout,
They
yeah.
want to say like, oh, that's one of the owners, you know? So people fall into that. I fell into it.
It sounds like vanity projects.
It is totally it's like
unless you know the business.
yeah, it's definitely a vanity.
I learned, I
project.
didn't know the business. I made a lot of pitfalls. I lost money on stupid shit. It took me a while
What's
to...
the most money that you lost in an investment?
Well, according to the IRS, it's like 30 million.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I'll tell you the most money I ever lost was in the goddamn stock market, and I refused to do it again. In 2008, when the market crashed, I had to move back in with my parents because all my friends were Wall Street boys. I was taking all my construction money and putting it in the stock market. I went to bed as a millionaire at an early age. I woke up broke as shit, back in the room where,
Where you
were
grew up
raised in.
Yeah, that I shared with my grandmother. I was like, Grandma, I'm back.
Oh, God.
No kidding.
Wow.
That's amazing.
No, it sucked, dude. It was rough.
That's a hell of a redemption story, though.
But
It
it's
was
one hell of
rough.
an arc,
And
right?
and in 2008 was the highest suicide rate in the country. And my mother
Higher than the crash of 29, actually.
I wasn't around then, but
Well,
I can
you
tell you
weren't.
that 2008
But
was
that's
very high.
statistic. Allegedly, you weren't around then.
So my mother would like open up the door and check on me. I'd be like, Ma, I'm never going to kill myself. Don't worry about it. She goes, you sure? I said, yeah, I'm okay. I said, we're like Doritos. We'll make more.
Yeah. How long did it take you to bounce back from that?
It took me a while. It took me, so I was in the worst business, right? So in 2008, I was sitting on a lot of land because I was building homes. And I was sitting on a couple of multi-million-dollar homes that I was financing because we didn't have a buyer for. Then I also owned 2 high-end restaurants. That's the worst thing to be in because one, nobody can afford those houses anymore.
Nobody can afford to go out to dinner.
And nobody can afford to go out to dinner. So I was
Cash
in the
flow
2 worst
stopped.
industries. Cash flow stopped. I almost had to go bankruptcy. I did not go bankruptcy because I was able to sell and, get everything.
You reorganized.
But I literally moved back in with my mother. And I remember getting a big jar of coins that I'd just been like, you come home from a nightclub or going out, you would just throw it. I remember taking that damn bottle and cashing it in because I needed cash.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
2008 was rough on a lot of people.
It was
but it
really
also
rough.
created the biggest opportunity economy for some people to bounce back. So should a guy always pay for dinner?
Yes.
Should you never split?
So I'll tell you what, I'm not going to name names, but I dated this girl who, if I had a chance to go all back over again, I wouldn't have been such an asshole. She used to get up, go to the bathroom, pay the bill. And then when I would call the guy over, he'd say, she already took care of it. No other girl in my life has ever done this for me.
And why'd you let her go?
Because he wanted more hot chicks.
Stupid. But yeah, but I agree that a guy should always pay for dinner.
Look, I think it's fair to say you should. Do you agree that splitting is okay, or do you think the man should always pay?
Absolutely not.
No.
I think it's cute
I'm
for a woman
old-fashioned.
to offer. I think it's cute.
It's cute.
Yeah, on our first date, me and my husband, I was like, oh, I'm going to cover the round. He laughed in my face. He was like, oh, yeah, right. That was cute for the offer.
I've had girls
and I was like,
offer.
he's a keeper.
Even offering is cool. Even
Offering,
offering
yeah.
is nice. But nowadays, like, nobody's offering. Nobody's like...
Nobody pays for
So I
dinner
have a
for
friend
me.
of ours in Connecticut.
I'll pay for your dinner.
That's okay.
I have a friend of ours in Connecticut. We call him Alligator Boy because his hands could never reach in his pocket. Right? So when we would go to dinner,
They
he'd
got
be like,
some names.
he'd be like, I got this, I got this, I got this.
I got. Where's my wallet? It's here.
So we dubbed him Alligator Boy.
Oh, I just call him T-Rex.
Is that the advice you would give your kid?
So I have a 19-year-old daughter.
Okay.
I'm old-fashioned. I was raised by 6 women. I was the only boy in my family. My mother's mother
That's
lived
a
with
rough
us.
childhood.
My father's grandmother lived with us. I shared a room with my grandmother till I was 21. Try sneaking home after curfew with your grandmother living with you, right? Like I
They
get
don't sleep.
undressed. No, they hear everything because they're waiting for it. They're up all night waiting for death.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're just waiting. They're wide awake. So I would get undressed in the first floor. I would climb up the staircase, right? I'd get into bed, and I think I was quiet, right? Boom, I'm out. Then my father was very strict. Sundays, you have to have dinner with the family. Didn't matter if you were in spring break floor, get your fucking ass home. You'd be home Sunday, 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Or like
1 o'clock was dinner?
1 o'clock was the Sunday meal.
brunch.
So the
Oh,
cousins,
meal.
everybody would come
Gotcha.
over.
I like
So my
that.
mother would say to me, I didn't hear you come home last night. What time was it? And my curfew was like midnight, right? So I'd be like, it was like almost midnight, maybe a little bit just after midnight. And my grandma would go, that's funny. On my side of the room, it was 2:30.
Come on, Grandma.
Throw me under the bus all the time.
Grandma, don't snitch, Grandma.
No, so I used to get
Portuguese
her.
grandma used to do this?
Yeah, but I used to get her back because I was a sleepwalker, right? So then I would pretend I was sleepwalking, and I'd get on top of her twin bed and like pretend I was gonna choke her. She would scream and, he's sleepwalking. Don't wake him up. And I'd go back in my bed, and I'd look at her and I'd be like,
That sounds like a great relationship with you
I'd
and
get her
Grandma.
back.
You had fun.
I love Grandma.
Man.
No, she was
Had
a
fun.
snitch, though. You know, snitches get stitches.
So Grandma can get the stitches.
Holy shit! Even grandma's not being
Grandma,
forgiven on
he's like,
this
Grandma
one.
can get it too.
Yeah, hell yeah. You
But
know,
I
look,
grew up, I was raised by 6 women. So getting back to your question, I'm very old fashioned.
Yeah.
You know, and we had one bathroom. I used to have to go piss in the woods. I'm like a camp. I can hold my urine for like a week because you don't get to use the bathroom when you have 6 women
You
in the
don't.
house.
You
right?
don't.
Oh my God,
The
that's
first
amazing.
time 2 of my sisters got married and they left the house I could start using, I used to go to school with wet hair. One day, you know, I see this apparatus underneath the counter sink. And I'm
blow
looking
dryer.
at it and I'm going, what is this apparatus? And they're like, what are you, retarded? It's a blow dryer.
You
Goes,
never got
"What
in the
does-
bathroom."
What does it do? He goes, it blow dries your hair. Well, when you don't get to go to the bathroom, you don't get to see these apparatuses, right? So I'm like, all these years I've been going to school with wet fucking hair when we had this apparatus. So stop calling it an apparatus, it's a blow dryer. So it's rough. So these women taught me, like I had 4 different generations. So I'm really sensitive when it comes to women's needs. And because I have a daughter, my daughter's the love of my life.
Oh yeah, I see
So
that on your social media. You
she
make it
shouldn't
very,
have to pay, you know. And my daughter has taught me, which I used to think like women gold diggers, right? Oh, they like you because of this, they like you because of that, because of what you have. Yeah, they should, right? Like who wants to date a homeless loser? Right? Like, I don't want my daughter to date a homeless loser. So if my daughter
I try to
dating
tell my
a
sister
good-looking,
that.
successful guy with a Lambo, good. That's what I want for
My
her.
sister,
She's not a gold digger.
Tiffany, if you listen to this, please listen to this advice. Because I say it, it's like I'm punching a brick wall. Like, can you stop dating losers? I don't care about what they have. I care about feelings. Like,
Love
bitch,
doesn't get you on the
feelings
bus,
do
though.
not pay your bills.
No, still the number one reason for failure in relationships and
It's
marriages
finance.
is because of finances.
So you were married, right?
Yeah.
How many
So I got in
times?
trouble on the Housewives show for this, right? So everybody's asking me, so what happened? Well, how come your marriage didn't work out? And I'd be like, she didn't want me dating. It was a joke. I got so much trash the next day.
Was it a joke? I don't know if it wasn't a joke.
I tell you what, I got
funny.
He meant it.
I got so much trash the next day, like hate mail, like people I just really
You got hate mail over
not
like-
hate mail, but you know they put comments out there,
Of course, yeah.
on the show and stuff.
And you were
so
joking.
It was a joke. I mean, my girlfriend got it. Why couldn't my wife?
So let me say, Barone, you seem like you have something to say.
I am speechless for the first time.
Oh, come on! Like, look, relationships can be tricky, right?
They can.
If you and I want to ask you this just out of like since we're so personal deep in your life now, because this adds a whole new layer to who Peter is, right? Peter's the supper club owner now. Again, he's bringing the supper clubs back. You're a restaurateur. You're a nightclub owner. You're a construction guy. But this is like personal, right? So obviously you were married. You had a child. Your daughters love your life. If you had to do anything different, would you change anything?
So, I tend to date younger than me, right? And
No.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, so do I. My husband's 8 years younger than me.
So a lot of the failures in my relationship is because I don't want to have kids again. My kid cost me $1.2 million in child support and alimony. I don't need to pay for another kid, right?
Okay.
Just to see her, on the weekends. So a lot of times when you date a younger girl,
They want to have a family.
kid. And who am I to stop you from having that experience, right? So I'm very upfront. And
You tell them, I'm not having any more kids.
I'm not having any more kids, and I say that up front. But you know what the problem is with
You can change your mind.
with you women? There was an amazing Broadway show that was one of my favorite Broadway shows back in the day when we had the Sound Factory. It was called "I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change," and that's what women do, right? I love you, you're perfect, and then they want to change you. And the difference between men and women are we go after a girl hoping for them never to change, and you guys go after a guy hoping to change.
I'm going to
him.
hold the mirror in your face right now because I'm going to say if you're running into this issue consistently, the common denominator is you. It's got to be in the choice of women that you're choosing. Because any whole-healed woman, if you say, hey, listen, I ain't having any more kids, I'm good on that, she'll bounce and go somewhere else and find her guy.
Not necessarily. Not everybody wants to have kids, and I'll tell you.
So why are you not maybe upping your age range a little to women that are out of their
range?
Well, he said he likes younger girls.
The younger girls want to be with him. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But then they want to have kids.
Huh?
Do you have a range that you adhere to?
It's usually in,
Don't say 20-something.
early 30s.
Early 30s is fair. Yeah, I know.
I mean, I've been under the 30s.
He's going to go. Look at his smirk on his face.
Have you been under 30?
Yes, he's going to.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Okay, so you're like 20-somethings? Or the 20-somethings?
yeah.
There's got to be a line, though. It's like you have a 19-year-old daughter.
Oh, so now with my kid, there's definitely a line. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
you
want to
can't
give
bring,
your
like, a
daughter a
25-year-old
25-year-old
stepmom
stepmom.
home.
Yeah.
No, absolutely
Ditto.
not. But to answer your question, would I do anything differently? Here's what I wrestle with, right? The only time I've ever been able to get unconditional love is having my daughter.
Okay.
But the drawback is I have no peace or rest now. Every fucking day I wake up, I have to see where she is, right? Now she's going to nightclubs, right? Now she's got this boyfriend.
You can totally shut her down in the nightclub scene.
Absolutely, but
Get her
you know
banned.
what?
Shut it down,
Get her banned
Peter.
from
I was
everywhere.
16, right?
I would bet I would shut it down.
I exchanged unconditional love for never having peace.
Now you're worried.
If I had to do it over again, I might not have a kid. So when a woman says they don't want to have a kid and they ask me my opinion, I'll say, I'll tell you what I wrestle with right now. And I'm honest with them. You'll never have unconditional love, right? If you get too fat, I'm going to leave you. That's not unconditional, right? If you cheat on me, I'm going to leave you. Right? There's conditions. With your daughter, there's never unconditional. So if you have a baby, you will experience unconditional love, but you're going to be fucking worrying all the time.
They say having a kid is, it's like wearing your heart on the outside of your
Well, it
body.
depends. Like her mother doesn't really stay up and worry. You know what I mean? Like her mom's loosey-goosey. She doesn't care. Me, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I constantly worry about it. Like I get in her business, right?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
You're a
Who's
good
this?
dad.
And my sisters are like,
Do you approve
"Why
of the
don't-"
boyfriend?
Well, I don't approve any boyfriend.
No,
And my sisters say to me, why don't you like the guy? I said, one reason, he has a penis. I don't like any guy that has a penis.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you can go cut off that penis, and what's her name will even pay for it, right?
Allegedly Kamala would love to
Kamala
pay for
will pay
that.
to have your penis go. So go home, cut off your penis, then you can date my daughter.
God.
Oh my God!
Children don't come. Kids
love
don't
you.
come with. Are you saying you like the notion of being able to receive unconditional love?
No, her condition is that her MX gets paid and she can use, and she's
So
got a
you
BMW.
like the notion of being able to safely give it to somebody?
Yeah. See,
Okay.
I know that my daughter will never hurt me with her heart or her mind, right? She's spoiled. I'm not going to lie. She's very spoiled.
Yeah.
But
She's daddy's little girl.
But I also love that I can spoil her now.
She's-
If I had her in 2008, it would be the most depressing thing. I probably would have killed myself because not being able to provide for your kid, have them hungry, have them sad, watching their friends have good stuff and your kids don't, that is the worst pain any parent could
Not
ever.
being able to provide is painful.
Like I literally would kill, rob, cheat, steal to provide for my kid. So sometimes when somebody does that because of their child, I don't approve, but you can kind of understand the level of sadness and desperation that put you there. And it can only be a love for your kid.
So let me ask you a question. I'm going to just throw it at you and say, what were 2 moments in life, pick one moment in life, if you can turn around and go back and say, I would have never done this?
I would have never invested in the stock market. My father was shot to death at an early age. I think I would have been there a little bit more and guiding him instead of not being so close with him.
Interesting. So you would have changed those two things.
I think so. So, in the Portuguese family, you're brought up to fear your parents, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a totally different discipline now. I've never laid a hand on my daughter. I don't discipline her with fear. I do yell a lot. She doesn't like when I yell, but that's just my nature. But we didn't have that kind of relationship. I never remember telling my parents I loved them. I never remember my parents telling me, because they didn't do that. With me, I tell my kid I love her all the time. Like, I've driven 2.5 hours in traffic to go to see her in Connecticut schools when she was in grammar school, just to watch her play the violin,
And
30
played
seconds
shittily
done,
too. Yeah.
I'm back going.
Yeah.
Was she a good
the other
violin
way.
player?
No, she sucked. It's horrible.
But she was his violin.
And then
player.
one
That's
day
your
she decided to
baby.
pick the tuba. I'm like, fucking the tuba's bigger than you. Like, I just sat in traffic for 3 hours and I got to go back.
Yeah.
And I came to listen to you
But
play
you
the
did
tuba.
it, like,
But I
kudos.
did
My
it.
dad wasn't present like that. So I appreciate hearing stories like that. My dad divorced my mom and he divorced his kids. So
Really?
I didn't talk to my dad until I was an adult again.
I didn't become friends with my dad until we became an adult. I had a business, he had a business, so we had a common ground, and then he gets snuffed out at an early age.
That sucks.
So I think I would have spent more time with my dad instead of being afraid of him.
Yeah.
Because I was a bad kid. I was always in trouble. So as soon as the Galaxy Ford 500 pulled into the driveway, I had to double check, what the fuck did I do? What am I going to get a beating for? And my father was into beatings.
That's the old
he wasn't this,
Mediterranean Portuguese way.
Sit down and let's evaluate the situation.
Yeah, vem cá, safado.
Yeah.
Did you have, because we're talking about the family aspect of it now, and therapy, help, healing. Have you done that type of work with a professional?
She's psychoanalyzing you, just so you know.
Well, there's a lot of professionals that can heal you. I'm not sure which ones you're talking about.
Just whatever. I always like
So
to
there's
know.
Trixie at the old Scores.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I think she helped me through
I'm
a
done.
lot of
Did she
bad
put you
points.
through a lot?
She kind of helped me through dark times.
Thank you, Trixie, over at the Scores. Thank you, Trixie.
Trixie at the Score, shout out.
She's not there anymore. Scores changed hands years ago.
Dude, I love you. I gotta tell you, this is so fascinating because you just don't pull punches, which makes you real, a real New Yorker. We ask all of our guests to tell 2 truths and a lie. And I want you to tell us 2 truths and a lie. Don't tell us which one is a lie. We're going to figure it out. We'll each take a bet on it, and then you reveal if we got it right.
2 truths and a lie, huh? Okay, what do you want? Well, I can't say what's first.
Just tell us. Just tell us all
so
3.
I'll make 3 statements.
3
You're
statements.
Gonna decide.
Yeah. 2 are going to be truthful. One's going to be a lie. We got to figure out which is the lie.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to need your help on this one, Barone. I mean, look at where it's coming from.
I'm not. I don't need help. I got it. I got this time.
When I'm alone at night having my baba, I still daydream about being in a boy band. I have a hard time dating certain size women because I'm way endowed. I mean, like I could get a tattoo of a yardstick.
Oh, dear
if
God.
I needed to. And My last statement would be, I've built more strip joints than anybody else,
Okay.
construction-wise.
Construction-wise.
What were the other ones?
He has a big
Giant dong.
Johnson. So he can't get petite girls
And boy band.
and boy. Okay.
He likes Barry Manilow.
I gotta say.
I mean,
I believe he
say?
dreams of being a boy band still.
why not the Will and
So
Down?
that's totally.
Let me see your hands. Let me see your fingers.
How big of a foot do you have?
12.
Okay, so I'm a 12. Okay.
You know what they say about guys with big feet?
You
What?
babe, got
They
big
wear big
shoes.
socks.
You can always
a
tell
bitch.
from the hands, though.
No, that's a myth.
Yeah, the whole finger.
So I'm gonna say that's the lie.
What?
The well endowed. Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. I don't agree actually because there's something to be
I
said
can
about
look at-
Portuguese. Well, you haven't tried Portugal. That's all I'm saying.
In Portugal, they don't even have fishing rods. The guy just throw it out.
Jesus Christ. So
They put a little meat at the end and boom.
I'm just gonna say
That's how we get the bacalhau.
Okay. George, what's your guess? What's your guess?
I'm gonna say that the lie is that you've built a lot of strip joints in your career. I think you're gonna go with the Johnson, aren't you?
I agree with the strip clubs.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
there's more than anyone
And would
else
you go
across
there?
the United States.
Which one am I picking, the lie or the truth? Because now I'm
you gotta
confused.
pick the lie.
Picking the lie.
You said it was a Johnson. Mm-hmm. What's the lie?
The lie is the Johnson.
The way you talk, I thought I saw it across the floor.
But that was also the giveaway, the way he talks.
Yeah, no, that's what
That-
it is. So you're talking
the way
big
it's-
game. So you're a traditional
You
big
talk-
hat,
the
big
bigger
hat,
you
no
talk-
cattle. You're a traditional big hat, no
So
cattle.
then what do
guy
you
then.
use for a fishing rod? A fishing rod?
A fishing rod?
I mean, fishing rod.
I use a fucking fishing rod. No, so listen, I don't know how many people are going to see this. So
Everybody's going to see this. Millions of
I'm not
people.
going to stop traffic, but I'm okay. All right?
You seem to have me like reassurance issues here.
I don't want to get out of here like have nobody call me.
All the hot chicks are still going to
Dude,
call.
you are as pink as a tomato right now. So remember to check out Peter's new restaurant, O-Bar, AU space BAR. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. Best of luck. I love new ventures. You know, I'm all
love it.
for supporting new businesses. So good luck to you guys.
That was a lot.
I've never found myself so speechless with my jaw dropped simultaneously, flabbergasted, but I love his audacity.
I mean, the energy. So folks, that was energy for sure. Like, totally rated R.
As soon as even before we sat down and cut the mics on, he just started. Is this who he truly is, though? Like,
100%.
is that
the most brutalic, authentic form of who he is. Like, no restraints there. Like, he was not acting.
that's quintessential New Yorker.
Well, and he's not even from New York. The
I
dude's
know.
from Connecticut.
But when I was a little girl watching New York Types, that is a character.
Oh, yeah.
He's the embodiment of what I thought it would have been. It's all about
even
the hot
if you're
chicks.
not making money.
It's I'm glad we got to see who the real person is behind the facade, because I mean, come on, like, he's been on reality TV, he's run for mayor, he's been in the public eye since he was 16 or 17 years old. I know he's had to put on a lot of different faces and wear a lot of different hats, but we know that he loves his daughter.
That was sweet.
With everything
That was so
in
sweet.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know the trauma that he experienced with his dad and how that's translated into how he treats his kid. We know he likes to have a great time.
I kind of envy somebody that can live so authentically freaking amazing like that.
Let's just do that now then, going forward. Let's just live.
So do we start at his bar this week?
I think we should go and have some Tipsy Girl, Prosecco.
Thank you for being here, Naja.
Thank you for
I couldn't
being
do
you,
this without
George.
you.
If you had not done the things that you've done in life and committed the crimes that you committed,
That's so
none
unfair.
of us would be here and I wouldn't have a job. So
Jesus.
thank you, George.
All right.
I love you.
I am a changed person, but I will accept that as a somewhat backhanded compliment. Anyway.
I love you, though. For real.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to one more week of Pants on Fire.
Bye,
we'll
y'all.
see you next week. Bye.